We went into the Montana backcountry for a 60-minute hike, and we came out 3 hours later with no memory of the middle. My friend Makenneth is a channeler as well, and neither one of us are a stranger of the odd. But what happened to us on Terialt Pass near the Canadian border really defied our experience of linear time and time passage. So this happened in the Northern Rockies region, and interestingly, that area has produced lots of stories like this. Pilots, hikers, hunters, researchers, they've all reported things like time distortions, navigational errors, and unusual electromagnetic activity. Years ago, me and Makenneth, we were hiking in this 10 Lakes area, again near the Terialt Pass, and it's around 7,000 feet in elevation. And our plan was pretty simple. We were going to take a quick hike, maybe 60 to 90 minutes along the ridge, and then we were going to come back down and maybe go fishing at the lake. Makenneth likes to fish, and we were going to play some cribbage. That was our plan before the sunset. So this was kind of in late September, and kids were back in school, and so where we went was very isolated. And I remember we brought some bear spray because it was full-on bear country. And the plan was we were going to hike in and turn around and come back out. And what happened instead was we went about 30 minutes in. We passed through an area where there was a lot of beargrass growing, which is a really beautiful blooming flower in that area. And I'll include a picture here. And it was growing on both sides of the trail. And something strange started happening as we walked through this section. The energy felt really different. And the first thing that we noticed was the hair on our arms started to stand up, okay? And as we're walking through, we could feel what felt like spider webs, which of course is very common on a trail that hasn't been walked through. But it was really odd because we couldn't see any of these webs. And I was walking first, Makenneth was walking behind me, and he's noticing all these webs and all this like feeling that there's stuff all over us. Eventually, I started placing my hands over the sides of the beargrass because I told you I could feel this kind of energy in the air, and then I could feel tingles in the palms of my hands, almost like electricity. It was like activating this, I believe it's called the Lao Gong in Qigong, okay, these palm chakras. Not only that, our hair was fully standing on edge, and there was just this energy in the air. So we spent, I don't know, 15 minutes, half an hour here exploring this little section of the trail, and then we continued on with our hike. We were talking about it, I remember, and we got up to the ridge, and then we circled back. But what happened is when we got back to the car, something didn't add up. What should have been about an hour, maybe an hour 15, totally turned into a 3-hour plus trip. We both just looked at each other because the timing did not make any sense. And both of us had this experience. Now, we both had unusual experiences before. In fact, me and Makenneth had met at East Seti around Mount Adams, which is kind of known for a lot of strange, unusual experiences. So we had a framework for this kind of thing. We've heard of missing time before. And for me, as a hypnotherapist, I'm very familiar with how people have time dilation, it's called, in trance or when they're in hypnosis. So this is basically where our subjective experience of time and the clock time don't really add up. But the reason that this situation was different was because me and Makenneth both experienced it together. Okay, we both experienced this time dilation at the exact same times. We both experienced this very unusual phenomena. So mountains are unusual laboratories for all sorts of effects. You can have shifting magnetic fields. You can have piezoelectric effects from the stressed quartz. I actually had a healing in Sedona at Bell Rock Vortex, and I really believe it had to do with the quartz crystal all underlying the red rocks over there. And maybe another day I'll do a video on that. But it does remind us that this natural world still contains a lot of underexplored phenomena. So that's my share for today. If you enjoyed this message, please share your beautiful energy. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. If you've had missing time, I definitely want to hear about it. Share your odd, unusual experiences below, especially your experiences in nature. That's where a lot of fascinating experiences have happened to me. And if you're interested in coaching, readings, or visionary art, you'll find that information in the description box. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next message.